Hi, good morning, Shrikar. We're live now, and it's really good to have you. So I'll just give you a brief intro and introduce you to everybody who's listening to us. Uh, so we have here today Shrikar Adavi, who heads the Amazon advertising and seller business, and he's here to kind of take us through, how we can probably avoid pitfalls when we are creating a new digital business. This is for anybody who's starting out, who's building a new young brand, and for anybody who's probably in the digital space and trying to create a digital business. Shrikar would probably give you a little bit of insight into the pitfalls that you could possibly avoid while trying to build that business. So, Shrikar, over to you. And I'm just going to remove myself from here. I believe you have a screen to share, right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Siddharth. Super excited to be part of this. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, I do manage seller advertising business for Amazon. Quick 10 seconds on this. So Amazon
Yeah.
India is a marketplace. We recently celebrated 1 million sellers on our marketplace. So me and my team, we work with these sellers who are actually advertising on Amazon to build success for their businesses, right? Predominantly solving for
Right.
discoverability. So
Right.
me and my team, we work with all advertisers of all shapes and sizes. We use various programmatic solutions. Sometimes it's direct reach, sometimes it's indirect reach through various tools, programs, on helping advertisers adopt various solutions, whatever fits their brand well. So
Right.
that's a broad introduction of like what I do. Yes, I do have a few slides to share. Maybe I'll just share my screen and start talking. Please do stop me for any questions or clarifications.
Sure. So, as and when questions pop up, Shrikar, I will, kind of interrupt you and bring that up on
Yeah.
screen. So, just
Yeah,
give me a
that would be
minute.
helpful because I can't see the window right now as I'm sharing the screen.
Right. I understand. So, I will come back and I will help you kind of navigate that. So, one
Okay.
second. That's your screen. I'm just going to remove myself. Over to you.
I hope you can see the screen, right?
Yes, Shrikar. So your screen is visible and so are you. So not a problem at all.
Awesome. Okay, I can just see my slide. So anyway, I'll just continue. Sure. Thanks. Just give me a microsecond, please, Siddharth.
Sure, no problem. So while we wait, Shrikar, I think is adjusting his camera. In case anybody who's watching has questions, please put it up. Whether or you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, we'd be more than happy to kind of bring that up. Please make sure that you have the right set of questions to ask, and I will bring Shrikar back up. Oh, yeah, Shrikar. Yes.
Awesome. I'll just start setting the context of like what is the audience I'm assuming today that we're addressing, and also what would be the scope of the discussion. So, who is the audience today that we would want to address? I hope I'm getting it right today. So we want to talk to young digital brands who are trying to scale on Amazon. What do Let's define what is digital. Essentially, these are players who are predominantly existing on digital universe, which is right from customer reach to sales to fulfillment to after sales service. Most of it is done digitally, very little offline play. I know it's a loose definition that we're going to use. Secondly, we are talking of young digital brands, which is like specifically brands which have spent maybe up to 6 months on Amazon. Again, it's not a hard and fast definition, but broadly a bit early in the journey, but not so early to figure out what is Amazon. But broadly, they have done their bit, they have done their experiments, they do have certain opinions. That's where the 6 month mark is what I'm talking of. So this is broadly the audience. And one difference is these are different than specific like aggregators or distributors or wholesalers, various other folks who also do sell on Amazon. These are folks who are interested in their brand, building their brand story, using various digital medium. So that's what differentiates a young digital brand versus any other seller on Amazon. That is the audience. The next part is what is the scope of discussion today, right? Is it a tutorial about everything about Amazon, right from FBA listings, policies, returns, enforcements? No, it is not. Then is it like a 30,000 view of strategy? No, it is not. Again, I'm trying to straddle somewhere in the middle. I'll try to bring out that's where a few common pitfalls that we see in the journey, specifically related to building their brand journey on Amazon. I will definitely cover. It's not again a tutorial on advertising. I don't want it to be that. It's so I'm trying to straddle somewhere in the middle of. My intention is to bring out few points at least by end of the session that you take away as practical suggestions versus a very high level uber strategic viewpoint. That's I don't want this session to be that. So that's broadly the scope. I'll try to use examples by sharing my screen wherever possible. Let's get started then. So when this topic was given to me, I started thinking first of all in the direction of what could be the common pitfalls. I could think of 7. That's what I'll cover one after the other. I'll jump straight away into the first one. First one is broadly around some set of hygiene actions that ideally I believe can be done faster than what some of the brands I do see getting into delays on this. I will talk a few hygiene issues that can be taken care of right at the start, with which less than like a 90-day period, this thing should fall in place. Okay, point number 1. Uh, Getting your listing cataloging right on Amazon, because this is your primary communication with the world, with your customers. People are taking their purchase decisions basis what you communicate on your listing. So biggest pitfall I see is digital brands do generally do a good job on it, but assumption that it's a one-time activity where you get with best of your agencies to do it, get a great look and feel done. Yeah, maybe that is good, but that's not sufficient. So the keyword which I want to leave the audience with is it's not a one-time activity, it's a living document. It's a continuously living document. Why do I say that? Because the way we are communicating information to a prospective user of your brand, how do we know that we are communicating everything? If we were communicating things so perfectly, then the customer question and answer section on your listing page, Amazon gives that on every detail page. There's a customer Q&A where you'll see for established brands, you'll see even like up to 500 to 1000 questions and somebody answering those questions. So why do these questions pop up? Because there's something else which is not getting addressed in the title, bullet points, or A plus content, or your photographs or your videos. So the key point is it's okay. We need not crack it on day one. Neither I don't see any brand cracking the perfect listing on day one. The point is that please accept this is going to be a living document which needs to continuously evolve. What does it mean in specifics? Right? I would request brands to please take a look at especially customer Q&A section on your Amazon listing page. Who is answering those? How are you answering the questions which are coming from customers? These are customers who are raising questions, unable to decide whether to go ahead with the purchase or not, or maybe they are in the discovery phase. So a good brand kind of responds, in fact, on a daily basis on your buyer server messages, and responds with comprehensive answers versus one word, two word cryptic responses. So this is something which I would draw attention to the digital brands. I see a lot of brands not looking at this carefully. Secondly, you do have existing information continuously flowing from friends and family, from your social media presence, from your other digital media presence on what kind of questions are coming in. Please continuously find them and start plugging them into your listings. So that would be the suggestion of getting your listing hygiene quickly. Let me give a example, right? Maybe there's a lot of theory that I'm saying. I was recently looking at an A2 brand of ghee. Again, this is like 4x premium to your branded products, right? Because it's like 100% organic. It's made from some Bilona cow, so on and so forth. But one of the questions which was coming on that customer Q&A was, how is it stored? Is it stored in plastic container? Because the customer was worried that maybe it's an organic product, but if storage methods are not correct, he or she does not want to pay that premium. Maybe that was the reason that question came up. But what I loved about this brand is that they took that question, they converted it into a video, a 30-second video on their catalog, also as a sponsored brand video to advertise on their homepage, on the detail page, wherein they explained how the ghee is made, with right photographs and like a simple to understand video. They also focused on how storage is done in fully organic setup. So it's a great example of picking up a question which comes and not leaving it question, but also then improving our listing and catalog basis this question, so that you're preempting maybe for thousands of other customers who have the similar question but not asking you. All this starts impacting your conversion rates. So this is point number one. I'm moving to the second part of hygiene, which is around, this is like simplistic, but I do see a lot of delays happening. Start with FBA. Don't delay FBA. Fulfilled by Amazon. This is the gold standard of customer experience. The especially important for new brands. It's not just about your logistics, right? FBA also has direct impact on your flywheel. It starts giving because it's a gold standard of customer experience. Your products will start benefiting from better discoverability, higher conversion rates because of FBA. I know most brands know the reason why they should do FBA, but for some reason I see a lot of delays in decision making, 30, 60, 90, 120 days on what to do. Let me settle down, let me think of FBA, right? Don't lose out your earlier traction. Get started with FBA. Think of all your iterations later, right? Whether you want to do easy ship prime, seller flex, or self ship, whatever it is, provided your product is not a heavy and bulky and you don't have specific problems with FBA, please go with FBA. Change later versus iterating now and then think of FBA 4 months later, because it's going to impact your flywheel in the initial part of your journey. That's the summary here. The third part about hygiene is around brand registry. Right. Again, I was trying to, in fact, dig out what would be the particular reasons why people delay brand registry. Again, it seems to be a broad little bit of awareness issue or confusion that let me get my patent, let me get my trademark, only then I'll apply for brand registry on Amazon. No, it's not the case. You can definitely apply for brand registry on Amazon with a work in progress trademark application. I'm also leaving the link here, brandservices.amazon.in. It is self-explanatory. Why is brand registry important, right? It's not just about registering your brand. It's going to open up A plus content. It's going to open up ability to run sponsored brands, brand stores. Most importantly, it's going to give you access to brand analytics. I'm not sure how many people in the audience have tried out brand analytics, but please go back and do that. I see a lot of searching around for third party tools and paying money for finding keywords and so on and so forth. I'm not going to share my opinion there, but I'm saying brand analytics gives you direct uh, access to any sort of keyword search. You type your ASIN, you'll find which keywords are leading to purchase of your ASIN. It's like a gold mine of information for you on keywords, on path to purchase. But this button will start coming on your seller center only when you have brand registry. Hence, I'm saying there are a lot of things which will open up if you just do brand registry. Why do it after 120 days if you can do it on day one? I count it as day one activity. So I've spoken of 3 hygiene steps so far, which I'm just clubbing into the first pitfall, not getting the hygiene in place. I'll move to the second one, but Siddharth, please do stop me if you find any if you seek any clarification or any audience questions on this.
Sure, Shrikar. In fact, talking of audience questions, we already have one. I'm just going to put it up on screen. So, Amazon versus own e-commerce store, which is better for a new D2C brand? Is the question by Gaurav.
Okay, so I'll try to address this. That's a fairly broad question. What I'll try to do is maybe address it by end of the session. The 7 steps should ideally bring answer to that. But by and large, since you brought it up, it's not an either or thing. That's one thing. If there's one thing I want to achieve out of this conversation, it's not either or. I would
Right,
want to debate where exactly is this either or debate coming from to start with, right?
right,
I would request to look at Amazon as a place where you build your brand story.
correct.
Okay, if there's one thing I want to achieve out of this, I want to dispel the myth that Amazon is for sales. For brand, I have to go to my own website. I'm not saying
Mhm.
it's either or, but I want to break this myth that Amazon is for sales. I want to
Right,
bring out the brand storytelling aspects which are available, which I see as a common pitfall of awareness.
got it.
So this is where, in fact, it's timely. The second theme which I want to bring is not understanding the flywheel concept of Amazon ads. Why would you want to use advertising exactly for a new brand? This slide might be a little bit heavy. I'll take time to explain this. Broadly, there are three type of media which evolve as you start working on Amazon for your brand. One is your own media, which is like the listings that you create, the product description videos, or the brand store, which again is a microsite you can create on Amazon free of cost. This is all how you want to explain what your product is, what your brand is, right? Paid media is where advertising comes in, where through display advertising or search advertising, what you're exactly trying to do is move traffic, move customer interest. Using paid media, you are building traffic towards your own media. And what is the end objective of all this? Is this an end in itself? No. Purpose of all this is to create something called as earned media, which is what drives brand growth organically. What is earned media? As you start getting more and more customer discoverability, as you start bringing initial sales velocity, it will start impacting your search ranks. uh, why would your search ranks get impacted? Because as you start building sales velocity, you'll start getting more and more customer reviews. Reviews are a simple ratio of number of units of sale which you do, right? Every marketplace works on certain ratios. I don't want to plug in a certain number. Each of you will know that sales to review, there's a ratio basis your category, basis your brand. But point is, as you start getting more discoverability, it leads to sales conversion. Sales conversion leads to more customer reviews. Provided those reviews are good, provided those ratings are making sense, you'll start seeing more and more organic visibility coming to you. Uh, I'll explain this better in the next slide. Essentially, the way the flywheel goes is like this. Please take a look at point number 3. As you start advertising, you build discoverability for your products. Discoverability brings glance views, essentially number of customers who are looking at your product, right? Sales conversion is a ratio. It's a mathematical ratio, provided again the hygiene of your product and your convenience are taken care of. As you start building sales, you start getting ratings and reviews. Again, that's a mathematical ratio, right? Maybe you sell 100 units, you might get one rating. So you sell 1,000 units, you'll get 10 ratings, right? I'm just talking of the volumes. As you start accumulating ratings and reviews, that's how Amazon marketplace starts identifying and start rewarding with organic ranking, with 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 organic trust based metrics. Like you'll start getting tags like Amazon choice or bestseller tag, so on and so forth. You'll start by gaining in organic rankings, which leads to organic discoverability, which leads to organic sales. This is the flywheel. Versus advertising as an end in itself, that you spend something, you get some sales. Maybe it is true for some of the other digital media, right? You spend something, you get certain sale. You don't spend, you don't get it. Whereas the critical difference, that's where I'm laboring upon this topic, is Amazon advertising spend is to start building your earned media, which is your ratings, reviews, your organic ranks. Purpose of organic ranks is that, why is it that when you search for any product, there are certain results which are coming on Amazon organically, right? You please go look at it. Search for any category, any product, right? You'll find the first response which comes from Amazon might be the organic response, might have like thousands of customer ratings, right? Because that's the only way Amazon will understand. Amazon's objective is to show products in an order which is also a proxy for customer trust. How would an algorithm do that? So we pick up products with sales velocity, products with right ratings and reviews, among many other things, so that your organic results start coming in that order. But how do you break that chicken and egg? Is you invest in advertising to reach a certain objective, right? One key difference, because once you absorb this philosophy, then you'll start assigning goals to your ad spends. It's not always how much did I spend last month, how much did I get out of it. You'll start assigning three short-term goals, short-term to medium-term goals, which is point number 2. Like in 3 to 6 months, I would look at how many of my ASINs have garnered sufficient visibility. Let's say 10,000 glance views. how many of my ASINs have started getting some amount of sales velocity? How many of my ASINs got at least 10 to 20 ratings from customers? Again, that's a ratio of sales. And it all ends up with how many of my ASINs are entering the, let's say, top 50 sales rank within that browse node. If anybody is curious to look at what's the sales rank of your ASIN, you can go to the detailed page, scroll down, and you'll see a specific rank given to your ASIN. So I'm saying then you're using ads as a means to achieve an end objective. Objective, I'm crudely defining it as a sales rank. Why is this rank important? Because that is a proxy that things are going to happen organically. You can start moving that ad investment to some other ASIN once you reach a certain threshold of sales rank here, right? It's not a permanent spend forever that you keep spending and you keep getting certain percentage sales. So that's one biggest difference. Maybe I'm repeating myself, but I'll just stop here. uh, what would this convert into our daily life, right? This is all theoretical. One of the biggest thing it has to convert in daily life, daily decision making, is how are you looking at ad spends, right? uh, a lot of the industry folks use this, which is something called as total ACOS. Like, look at your ad spends as a ratio of your total sales, not just ad spends as a ratio of your ad sales. So these are two different things. I tried to give an example there. If you're spending 100 rupees on ads and that's leading to 200 rupees sale in that campaign, right? One way to look at it is that your advertising cost of sale is 50%, right? 100 divided by 200. The other way to look at it is this 200, this particular advertising also has led to your organic visibility and an overall sale, which is, let's say, 1000 rupees. That's where I'm saying you look at total ACOS, which is 100 divided by 1000, which is ad spends divided by total sale, because it's not just the advertising sale, it's also creating residual impact for you in building your ASIN ranks and your organic visibility. This is important for new brands specifically. I'm not saying this has to be permanent philosophy, but it's important in the initial days. Unless you do this, I see a lot of brands doing a daily start and stop. Hey, last evening I've run a campaign with 44% takeoff, so but somebody told me that 20% takeoff is good, so I've shut down the campaign. Right? I do see, you'll be surprised at the amount of start and stop I see in the new brands, specifically also because some of this decision making is outsourced to agencies, right? Without specific goal in mind. If your goal is in 3 months to 6 months, I will move at least five of my ASINs to top ranks. Hence, these are the investments. Then you will not take day-to-day myopic decisions versus not having a goal. Then the day the campaign goes off, you switch off the campaign. Again, you're back to square one. So this is one common pitfall, which goes back to a philosophical understanding of what's the reason for Amazon advertising.
Hi, Stricker. Sorry, there is one question that, in fact, there are two questions that I want to kind of put up.
Yeah.
One is from Tushar. If you can see that, he's asks if glance views are the same as impressions or clicks, or is this some kind of other metric?
Okay, thanks for asking. So glance view, roughly take it as same as clicks. Like somebody who is actually clicking and visiting your detail page of the ASIN, that is called a glance view or a click.
Right. And
You,
we have another question, sorry,
yeah.
from Gaurav. Again, it's here. He asked, instead of running ads on Amazon, why not should I run ads on Google or any other platform to get traffic directly on my website? And in case there's another perspective of what is more helpful.
Fair enough. I don't know how would anybody answer that, right? I think you should feel free to build traffic onto your own website. That's all perfectly fine. But
Right.
if at all you're trying to build a certain scale on Amazon, so I would want to think of then do the right thing to build that scale on Amazon versus a dilly dally on both sides.
Right. Understood. All right. There are no other questions. Shikhar, we can continue.
Okay. The third pitfall is not being present across the purchase journey on Amazon. I'll explain. this a bit in a couple of slides and also take a practical example. Yeah, I know this is a busy slide, but broadly, that's what I want to communicate here, that customer purchase journey on Amazon is not linear. That somebody's pre-decided, hey, today I want to buy a micromodal antibacterial innerwear. I'll come, I'll search, I'll buy. It's not that simple. So people form opinions, people are in discovery phase, people are in research phase, then they come into there is awareness, consideration, the typical marketing funnel, then this purchase. People are reading reviews, people are going back, people are again getting exposed to various other advertising, which is not even specifically when they're searching for the product, but maybe they're doing something else on Amazon. So I'm saying it's a fair mishmash of crisscross of uh, journey which happens, especially by the time somebody decides what to buy and finally takes that purchase decision. Again, interesting statistic, even of people who have decided what to purchase, it takes like 5 to 6 days to complete the purchase journey, right? On an average, people spend like around 6 days to decide finally what to buy. And depending on categories, it even like 90 to 120 days, especially in your high ASP categories, where the purchase windows, we do have analytics for that, ranges up to 120 days, especially when it comes to your home equipment, home improvement related equipment, and fitness related equipment, and something of that sort. So it's important for the brand to absorb this, so that then we can look at, okay, various parts of purchase journey are important, and how can a brand meaningfully be present at various parts of the journey. That's what I want to talk about in this third section. Again, this is not a tutorial where I'll take you through each and every product, but broadly what we are saying is that Amazon does have various advertising solutions which will solve for specific part of the customer journey in their path to purchase. If there's one thing I would request is just awareness that Amazon is not PPC. I get worried whenever people say Amazon is PPC. No, we are we are saying let's just call it Amazon Ads. It has a host of solutions, right from DSP, programmatic solutions, to sponsored product, sponsored brand, brand store, video advertising, display advertising, which can further be broken up into various remarketing solutions, so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into all the details right now, but I'm just wanting to park that awareness that it's there are plethora of solutions available for various situations of a customer journey. Amazon is not just sponsored product, that is 2015, 6 years, 7 years back, right? There are various other things, like common pitfall I see from the young brands on lack of awareness about these particular solutions which are there. And each solution is made for a reason. They're all not going to achieve the same thing, then we wouldn't have launched these solutions. That's where on the right hand side of the screen you will see a typical funnel, where in a category there might be customers who are not even actively engaged in the category, then the people who are researching, then people who are researching specific brand, and finally purchasing. So you see the audience sizes ranging from a 5 million to a 1 million to finally 100K kind of a breakdown. And you can use different solutions. For example, when customers are still researching in a category, you can use display solutions to reach out to those customers, to showcase your specific brand. uh, let's say you're a brand which is selling baby wipes. You can reach out to the customers who are in the market, who can be audiences like recent parents. That's a specific audience profile Amazon gives you, and you can target that particular audience profile. Or you can target basis past purchases in complementary categories, where you, rather than waiting for the customer to come and search for baby wipe, and then only on that specific keyword checking whether your advertisement is coming or not, or whether your brand is present or not. So that's like the bottommost part of the funnel, but you need not be limited to the bottommost part of the funnel, is what I'm saying. So there are multiple solutions. The journey is complex. Each solution solves for a certain part of the journey. I'm just asking a very, very high level, broad awareness of this fact. Again, this is just to give an example of what kind of audience profiles. I gave you one example of baby wives and like young recent parents, right? There are various lifestyle segments. This has happened around 6 months back, where Amazon has launched all these audience segments in self-service. You can log into ad console, you can take a drop down of sponsored display, You can select such audiences and you can start reaching out to those audiences by setting up a campaign. It's as simple as that. These things have happened in 6 months to 1 year period. That's where there's a lot of work we need to do in Amazon to build awareness. Hence, I'm bringing it here. Look at some of the examples on the screen, right? There is an audience profile called pet lovers, right? You can talk to them. There's an audience profile of new or expected parents. There's an audience profile of bargain hunters. There's an audience profile for in-market exercise equipment. So I'm just giving you this as a few examples. There are a huge set of examples of audience profiles through which you can choose, and you can start reaching out at the early part of a customer journey rather than waiting for that customer to search for a keyword and then checking whether you run sponsored product or not. That's a crux where I'm trying to show sample profiles. These are not the only ones, the thousands of them in terms of audience profiles from which you can select. Lastly, an example just to close this point on what I'm talking of as an audience profile. How is it different than simple keyword targeting? Right? This particular brand on the left hand side of your screen is selling a baby care set. What are their options? Do they wait for people who are searching for the keyword called baby care set? Yes, maybe that's something which is most obvious to do, thing to do, which a lot of 9 out of 10 brands do that, right? But the question to ask is that the only part of the journey? That's the last stage of the journey, maybe, where the customer has finally decided, I want to buy a baby care set. But can you actually take this brand out of that aisle, go to the in-market audiences, people who are purchasing baby and toddler toys, baby products, dolls and accessories, baby product purchasers who are recently joined the category, which is again a proxy for new parents. These are all audience profiles which are available to you. And when people are browsing in this particular categories, this particular product can be shown to add to be part of the consideration set. This is a typical example of top of funnel approach to customer journey, which is again a common pitfall. Why am I talking about it here? Is because if 9 out of 10 brands understand bottom of the funnel, taking a keyword and running a targeting campaign, I don't know, maybe 2 out of 10, I would be surprised if 2 out of the 10 brands understand the top of the funnel and actively using it, especially because it has been a recent phenomenon of like seriously simplifying it on Amazon. Today you just go to console and you can start doing it through sponsored display. This is just a summary of everything that I spoke of. Different parts of the journey exist, in which you can use different products uh, to engage your audience. So I'll also just take an practical example here by just going to Amazon to like break the clutter of like a lot of theory here, right? I hope you can see my screen. Siddharth, if you can please confirm.
We can see your screen, Shikhar.
Okay, I just went to Amazon, right? I'm just maybe okay. I'm thinking of something around vitamin C face serum. Maybe my friend spoke about it that okay, vitamin C serum might be good for certain skin condition. So I'm just curious as a customer. Let's take that example, right? When I search for vitamin C face serum, I want to just give a quick overlay of what all solutions exist and seeing how brands are using it, right? What you say right on the top, right? Before I go into whatever are the search results, what you say right on the top, there's a specific brand in purple color which is running something. They're showing the brand logo. They're saying they're giving a specific customized tagline backed by science, simplified by nature, right? They're also showing three specific asins that to running on reels. The whole thing which you see here is called sponsored brand. It's not a new product, but it's a underutilized solution. What is the brand trying to achieve here, right? Even before I went into various search results, sponsored brand advertising is just bringing my attention right on the top, right? What if I'm interested in this brand? Like maybe I never discovered this brand, but I'm discovering it right now. I just click on it. What happens? That advertising is not just stopping at showing some products to me, it is also taking me to the brand store. Right now, this is another solution which Amazon provides, which a lot of brands are yet to, especially young digital brands, have draw their attention to start using brand store. It's free of cost. It's just a microsite in which you can design your own brand story within guidelines. So, like the Derma right now is they have set up a brand store in which they're showing their entire product range, not just product range, they have also classified it into acne markers, anti-aging, pigmentation. They're classifying it for easy discoverability. There's also a search bar. This is like a practically a microsite, a shop in shop kind of an experience for me to learn more about this brand. Here, by the way, they can also add videos. Okay, they can showcase storytelling in terms of they can add more information of what the brand is about, so on and so forth. Right. Let me take a pause. What am I showing you here? I'm just trying to say what all solutions exist on Amazon which can be used across purchase journey by giving practical example by me as a customer searching for vitamin C face serum. So as a customer, I am not even clear what brands exist, what is the purpose of face serum, vitamin C face serum and all. I'm at a curiosity phase. When I search, one of the solution which this brand is using is sponsored brand to draw my attention and also expose their entire range of products using brand store. It's a combination of sponsored brand and brand store. By doing this, what is the brand gaining? Brand is gaining a new to brand customer. Maybe I never heard about this brand, but today I know. Point one. Let's see what else are other brands doing, right? Like look at this brand. This brand is running sponsored brand advertising. I don't want to talk much about it because this is something which has been there for years. I'm saying 9 out of 10 brands do this, right? They're bidding on the keyword. They're showing sponsored product advertising here. So are the others. But what else is new as part of the journey, right? Now look at this. You can see a video going on the screen, right? This is called sponsored brand video advertising. Okay. Here they're not just exposing a brand name to me. Maybe that name does not mean anything to me right now because I'm right broadly at very at the top of the funnel yet. It's not even part of my consideration set. But they're also explaining what the brand is about, right? I'm not running there's an audio here. I'm not running it right now. But broadly, they're trying to narrate their story. That too on the search on the basic search page, right? So I'm just giving these examples as solutions which exist at various part of the journey which brands can use. I'm also curious. Let me click on what else exists, right? I clicked on one of this particular ASIN. I've randomly selected an ASIN and clicked on it. What else happens here? Here I'm studying what is this ASIN? How is this useful for me? Right? Maybe I'm just understanding so much information here, right? Using the A plus content, using the product details, right? This is the customer Q&A I spoke about in the first slide, if you remember, right? I'm saying what are the questions which others are asking and how is the brand responding to them, so on and so forth. But I want to draw your attention to something else. What's happening on right on top of the screen? There's another brand which is running sponsored display. Here, this brand knows that I'm interested in vitamin C serum. That's where I'm interested in a specific product, and I'm reading in the detail page of the product. So they're drawing attention to an alternative with a 5% coupon. This is sponsored display advertising. This is a product targeting which is going on, right? Similarly, here, like the previous brand that I saw, they are also targeting using sponsored display, especially when they know I'm a high intent customer now, studying someone else's retail page. I'm not going to get into a tutorial of like how to use each of this, but I'm just trying to. My objective is only to draw attention to multiple solutions which exist, and all the solutions are when I'm searching. There are audience solutions which I spoke of with that baby care set, where I'm not as a customer, I might not even be searching for anything, right? Which is what is this particular example that I spoke of. So summary is this: multiple stages of journey exist, but why are we talking about what is the pitfall here, right? 9 out of 10 brands get stuck with the last step of the journey, which is I want to take a keyword and I want to run a sponsored product around it. By doing it, you're not able to bring out unique selling proposition of your brand using videos or imagery. You are struggling to buy segment share at the last step of the funnel. It's like trying to convince a customer who has come to a kirana shop for Coke versus Pepsi, right? There you're trying to convince customer to do something else, right? Versus influencing about your brand above the line or using other medium. you're missing out engaging with larger audience size versus people who are only searching for specific product, right? And the last point is by just not using a host of these solutions, generally these solutions work together. One plus one is always greater than two. It has been proven statistically on Amazon. There's a lot of research. I'll do share some numbers in the next slide. Whenever you put, let's say, sponsored product, sponsored brand video, sponsored display, if you put these solutions together, the impact on your return on investment is far far higher than using one thing at a time, right? That's a common pitfall of people not using multiple solutions. Why does it happen? Is it purely awareness reason? I don't think so. It's also got to do with maybe a little bit of lack of awareness on why a certain solution exists. I do say almost a daily, weekly debate with various brands. They say, hey, we have switched off sponsored brand advertising because my ACOS is 36%. Sponsored product ACOS is 18%. Why should I run sponsored brand? So that entire framework of debate itself, I don't know where to kind of answer that, right? Because the purpose of existence of sponsored brand is to reach out to more and more new customers, bring a lot of new to brand customers for you, increase your brand awareness. You cannot compare it with a sponsored product where the customer is kind of pre-decided and going and among available options he has selected your brand, hence your numbers will look good. Comparison with sponsored product for every single initiative has, I personally think, has done more damage to brands than benefit. Hence this point about being aware of multiple solutions and using them. The fourth pitfall is kind of additive to the previous slide. uh, I'll leave this presentation for the audience later as well. But by and large, what are the bar graphs telling you? When you put one plus one, it will be greater than two in context of using multiple advertising solutions versus one. Just a simple example, like using display advertising and search works better, 5.4 times higher impact for challenger brands. These are, let's say, new brands, smaller brands versus leader brands. Why? Because the sensitivity to awareness is far higher for new brands because customers are not aware. And today, in that particular example of vitamin C, right, I personally have learned the existence of two brands which I did not know before, by the way. So the impact is far more, especially when challenger brands use multiple parts of the funnel rather than just being stuck to the bottom of the funnel, because it's easiest mathematically, right? Because you see a daily result on it saying the sponsored product ACOS is less, why should I use anything else? So I'm trying to labor upon slide pitfall number 3 and pitfall number 4 to bring that point together, that these are multiple solutions. The last example, at the risk of going for an overkill here, is this, right? Think of it like a cricket team, right? You are the captain, you have five bowlers in the team in a test match, right? Maybe let's say Mutaya Muralidharan gives you best wicket taking average, but that particular bowler is able to perform also because there's a pace attack. There's also other bowler on the other side of the wicket who is actually controlling the economy rate, because of which your star bowler is also able to pick wickets. So I'm just giving this analogy to break the clutter, to say it's like a team which works together to achieve objectives. If you start only looking at statistics of Mutaya Muralidharan or your star bowler and say, no, I'll run all overs only with this one bowler, one, maybe in cricket rules don't allow, but here maybe nobody's stopping you, but it leads to suboptimal outcomes. See that I have 3 points more to share. Maybe I can quickly run past and then take questions, or you
Sure,
it
sure,
would feel as
absolutely.
though
You
I
can
can
run
stop.
past the 3 points and then we can
Okay.
open it up for questions.
Okay. These are the heaviest point I had out of the 7 points was on point number 3 about multiple solutions. Now that we are past, rest of them are fairly simple. These are more tidbits. Uh, Point number 5 is not investing in the right brand imagery, creative excellence. This is something which kind of is a puzzle for me, right? I see a lot of these young brands are super passionate about like every micro detail of how their packaging looks like, how their color scheme looks like, how their visibility on certain social media looks like, right? But when it comes to Amazon, uh, it could be this whole myth which is that Amazon is for sales. It's a sales channel. I don't know why that could be one of the underlying theme, but I don't see any of the creatives uh, coming in the right fashion, or the existing avenues of creatives. Like I showed the example of imagery, I showed you example of brand store, I showed you the example of videos. These are not complicated, these are all self service. You can click few buttons and do it yourself. Nothing requires like complicated creative agencies to do it. These are all self service products, but I don't see that happening. Lack of creative consistency, even when you compare, let's say, with a Facebook or Instagram, and what happens, the campaign which runs there doesn't run here. That kind of keeps worrying me, and I could never find a great answer to it apart from operational difficulties. Yeah, actually, general answer is that maybe the creatives, we don't have bandwidth right now, we'll do it in future, kind of a thing. But this is where I would draw attention of the founders of digital brands. Please question, what is the difficulty in maintaining creative consistency? Let me give an example in the next slide. This is a good example I just picked up from yours, right? On the left hand side of the screen, you see the brand's own website, right? This is a brand which is kind of telling their story in a certain, everybody has a creative ethos, right, through which they're telling the story. Good part is they're bringing the same thing into Amazon store, Amazon brand store, same look and feel, same campaigns. Not just stopping there, they're also bringing the same thing into videos, sponsored brand video, again the same look and feel. Again, but they bring the same thing onto the detailed pages, right? I'm putting the question back for people who are not able to do this, and what is the difficulty which is stopping us from doing this? This gives a consistent experience. This is good for the brand, especially when there are campaigns running on different parts of your digital ecosystem. Consistency is the key, and Amazon gives you fair amount of self service to bring this consistency. You can create your own listings. You can create your own video and upload. You can create your own store, by the way, and upload. There are predefined formats in which you have to do it. So this is the part where I would request you to not not be obsessed with text. Use imagery, use videos to build your story. What you see on this slide is again a couple of examples. Even within sponsored display, Amazon gives you option that, okay, default option which just gives you some text and a logo, or you can upload your own images. You can see this person, like this is actually I think Anil Kapoor, the brand ambassador. That particular brand has uploaded it. Even in small tiles which come on detail page, you can actually customize them, use your imagery. So crux is this: there are fairly simplistic ways in which you can build your brand to life on Amazon using imagery, using videos, stores, SD custom image, and everywhere you put that effort on right imagery, you will see higher CTRs. I gave point number D, 38% higher CTR when you use custom images in your sponsored display versus not using anything. Let the system pick up whatever logo and run it. Right? Why compromise? That's a key point here. Uh, Maybe I'm not fully aware of the barriers the brands face, but I would just want to park it here. Please check with your teams on whether we're bringing the brand to life using existing, and are they super costly? It's not a cost element at all. Your cost per click on videos, in fact, more often than not, is far cheaper than sponsored product. This is another funny thing. Why? Because maybe 9 out of 10 brands are using sponsored product, so that auction systems are pushing up the CPCs, cost per clicks. But when it comes to sponsored brand video, right, not even 2 out of 10 brands are ready to put that effort to create a video. So there's hardly any auction. So you'll sometimes find cheaper clicks. It's not just about like imagery, it will also in fact bring your cost down. It's a counterintuitive thing, but I feel it's more about like willingness to experiment, awareness followed by willingness to experiment. This is what I'm requesting the teams to look at. The last point I would say, because my point 7 is a bit generic, it's about people. So sixth point is again, it's there are just a bunch of hacks or small tips which I just try to add it into bunch them together into building loyalty, or how do you increase average order value. in no particular order. I'll just go step by step, right? Point one is, uh, please be aware of sponsored display, right? Every day we are adding new features there. As I said, it's a 6 month old product. It's going to fundamentally change the way advertising is working purely on keyword. Like sponsored displays, everything where it's not about keyword targeting, right? You need to find out audiences. It allows you for options for remarketing. So here the specific point which I'm saying is, sponsored display allows you to go back to your past purchases of last 80 days. We are improving these features. Right now it is 82 days. You can go back and reach your past purchases when you have a new launch, or whether you want to showcase your next product. How many of the brands are doing this? Very few, again because of, I think, recent launch and awareness issue. But by doing it, everybody talks of CAC and LTVs, right? This is your step number one to improve your LTV, right? Go back to people who purchased your brand, ask them if they're interested in something else in your brand. Point number one. Point number two is own ASIN targeting, right? When you have a range of products, if customer is interested and looking at one of your product, do you want to show a better alternative there, higher ASP alternative there? I'll give you an example in the next slide to make it clearer, right? This is the next slide. Like there's a brand which has watch number one and watch number two, a smartwatch number one, smartwatch number two. If the customer is looking at smartwatch number two for whatever reason, maybe it's your top selling item because it's a cheaper SKU. Tomorrow you launched a 30% premium SKU. Sponsored display allows you to just advertise. You can see this, right? This is a detailed page. On the right hand side of the detailed page, below the buy box, you are also able to advertise a higher priced ASIN, right? What are you trying to do? You are trying to upsell in real world at the time of decision making for a customer. Why is it important? Because maybe you launched a higher SKU. Common refrain is that no, the my higher priced SKU is not selling. Right here, you're doing a piggyback on your existing SKU, which has traffic, and doing it again. As I said, these are all very specific transactional tips I wanted to bring on how do you improve your loyalty, how do you improve average order value. The third point is on brand store. Go back to the example with vitamin C I showed, right? Whenever people purchase from brand store, you'll see around 20% higher ticket size. Why does it happen? Because people don't buy one thing. People discover multiple things when they go into the brand store, right? Average order value increases. So versus just picking a product on in a clutter, going out of Amazon, bringing the customer into brand store, you are immersing in multiple products, you're showing them combos and so on. So it's a proven fact. Your order values shoot up if you run a good brand store, and there is no cost. It's not an advertising solution that Amazon is charging you. It's a free of cost solution. Last point is parent-child variations and bundling. Use them smartly. If you are selling a vitamin, let's say vitamin C tablets, right? You can also create a variation of vitamin C plus zinc, right? That by doing this, you are trying to accumulate ratings. You are trying to accumulate glance views. You are trying to improve discoverability. Again, these are small steps. Again, I've just added. This is not an exhaustive list. I just tried to bring few things which you can go back and start implementing today. Hey, the last point which I forgot is ask for ratings and reviews. Amazon gives approved ways of you going and asking for customer reviews after a purchase is done. Right? I don't see many people are aware of this point. Uh, like you can go to your manage orders, contact buyer, you request a review. You can in fact customize it. I put an example on the right hand side of the screen where this particular brand has reached out to me. They said, hey, we are a young brand, we would really love if you leave a review for us. This is my name, this I'm the CEO, so on and so forth. Okay. I'll mask some of these details while I share this forward, Siddharth. But this is just an example, right? I don't see a lot of brands being aware of this, right? By just asking a requesting for a customer review, that too in a customized, personalized way, will go a long way in gaining your reviews. Because generally, I see a ratio of like 100 is to 1 or a 50 is to 1 between sales and reviews. So you have an approved method by Amazon. Why not use it to improve your loyalty, to improve your future ratings? The last point is this. I get worried with too much outsourcing generally, especially in the initial phase. So I'm saying as part of day one behaviors, that's an Amazon language. I'm requesting if founders can do some of these things, at least three out of the things that I've listed here, right? Study the competitor essence, reviews, advertisements. Spend some time, spend half an hour just behaving like a customer and seeing what's going on Amazon. Like you will ever always pick up new learnings because there's a lot of people thinking similarly and trying to innovate. So it's a ready-made open source information. It's ready for taking. Right? Read your reviews. Check what people are saying, what people are asking, then plug it back into your listings. Right? Lastly, check type your keyword, see what kind of results are coming in. You'll be surprised that sometimes you type your own brand name and you're nowhere on Amazon, right? That also I keep so these are small defects, but point is that please spend some time as a founder or the core team member on some of these steps. At least I said three out of these steps. Be in touch with reality in the first few months because there's a goldmine of information just going real time on Amazon. That those are my 7 points. The last point is like build a brand scorecard. I'll leave it for people to go through. That's my last slide, which is like, okay, there's a lot of theory, right? How do I know then when I'm on the right track or not, right? I try to put some numbers. Again, these are not very scientific. These are generally but what I see in some of the good brands in the 6 month journey, right? By end of 6 months, how do you know whether you're on track, whether you should be happy or super happy, right? Since I put this metrics, if you are running a product with 50 asins, a brand with 50 asins, how many of them have even meaningful glance views, right? 100 glance view, because generally 100 glance views gives 1 unit sale, right? 1% conversion is what the industry average is, depends on category to category, right? You'll be surprised that some of your asins don't even have any glance view. Nobody even looked at them in their lifetime. So just look at this metric. How many agents have at least 10 customer reviews? Again, this is just some proxy of a meaningful count of reviews. Reviews won't happen magically. It's a ratio of number of units you sell. Only a ratio of people take the pain of giving you reviews. The last one which I spoke of, right? How many agents are in top 50 sales rank? Right? Because that's a indicator that okay, you have reached your destination, which is your organic visibility. You don't need to continuously pump in money on advertising. You can move that money to something else. For which, how do you know that? Check your sales rank. These are the three outcomes in the 6 month journey which I would request the founders to keep an eye on. What else is there on the slide, right? uh, I spoke a lot about brand store, right? How do you know you're doing a good job on brand store or not? You can calculate in brand store insights. You can see how much traffic is coming to the brand store. You can have the most beautiful brand store. What if only one customer is visiting per day? Well, on an average, you get like 10,000 customers visiting your rest of your properties. So move some of your traffic to brand store by running sponsored brand advertising, or diverting traffic from your social media. Whether you're running campaigns on other medium, you can in the initial days divert those traffic by adding a brand store link. Let's say on a Google or a Facebook or an Instagram, so on. Right? Uh, that is an indicator that yes, you're trying to build engagement using your own store. The ones in red color are those where it's more of inputs which should lead to that output, right? Whether you are covering all your D lessons, whether you're spending meaningful money on sponsored brand, sponsored display. If it is too complicated, that's where I'm saying just put at least 30% of your budget there rather than going into day-to-day debates, right? The last point is remarketing. Very, very little understood topic because it's still very recent in self-service method, 6 months back. So keep an eye on remarketing. All of you understand in digital world the importance of remarketing. Please do that on Amazon as well. Hey, here is where we are, Siddharth. I'll stop here. Thank you so much for
Right.
patiently listening in.
Thank you, Shrikar. So there's a couple of questions that I'll probably pick up
Yeah.
and kind of showcase. One is from Tushar, who essentially asks, asking for review on each order and clicking can be tedious. Is there a better convenient solution to kind of do this?
I'm actually not fully aware if there could be some API based solutions. I'm not fully aware of it, Siddharth. I
Right.
would request you to just check with the seller support team. But the key point is, I would be wary of using third party solutions. There's an industry out there to get reviews ratings. So just be wary of it. Please use only Amazon approved methods.
Right. And Sakshi asks, any data on PI that can be helpful for her. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yes, actually, I mean, PI is Amazon Pi. It's an insights-based solution that we are slowly scaling to multiple brands right now. I didn't talk about it, Sakshi, because it's still at the reach is very low. Not all brands have it. But yes, Amazon Pi does give you a share of voice. I mean, it gives a plethora of insights. But most importantly, a share of voice on search. It helps you to understand where do you stand on a competing, like what is your market segment share, right? In offline world, it's very easy. We just start thinking in that direction, right? So Amazon Pi helps you to get those, and there are a plethora of the other things which you can get there. But for people who don't have access to Amazon Pi, I would say look at brand analytics. It's a gold mine for anybody who is going and paying money and purchasing keyword solutions outside. I just ask, have you opened brand analytics? Have you punched in your asin? It will tell you entire path to purchase, which keywords have led to purchase of your asin, and which are your top three competitors. It's a gold mine. And you can search for any category. People who are searching for
right.
where are the new keywords, what are the new prospective browse nodes in which they want to launch new products, right? It's right there. Please go explore on Seller
Right.
Central.
I'm just looking for any other questions. There aren't any for now.
Okay.
But Shrikar, I think this was something that's very interesting, and for me personally, I think it was an eye opener as well. Yeah, and it whatever you spoke of, kind of, it was tailored to become a playbook for brands who are kind of wanting to set up a digital business for themselves and who are essentially young, right? So it was very, very insightful, and the cricket analogy was really on spot, right? And I just hope that anybody who's wanting to create a D2C brand or a digital brand and was on this session, I hope they're able to kind of get those insights and kind of solidify their growth path, like that, right? And create some amazing businesses for themselves. And I'm really surprised at the fact that a lot of businesses don't do this. It's a little alarming and probably should get fixed and must get fixed, rather. Like you said, it's not really about your own store or a store on Amazon. It's the fact that you have a place, to play in both places, right? You can create a store for yourself and create a store on Amazon and build businesses on both places, and use the metrics that come from there to scale. So
Yeah.
that was really amazing to kind of listen to. Chikar, any closing thoughts that you would want to kind of leave the audience with?
Not really. In fact, the first question, right? Own website versus Amazon. I would say, hey, almost 74% of the searches are starting on Amazon right now. I mean, depending on which survey you look at, but
Right.
a bulk of searches, in fact, purchase intent searches are starting on Amazon. And
Mhm.
Amazon increasingly right now. In fact, we have even rebranded ourselves as Amazon Ads. Right. I get worried when people still keep calling us Amazon PPC. That like if there's one thing that we want to change it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are trying to give a lot of brand experiences and capabilities for brands to create experiences. So
Right.
hence, it's a choice of the brands on like how they can use it, especially to talk
Right.
to high intent audience. Like almost like 74% of internet users of India are present on Amazon. They are transacting customers. So
Right.
it's not a sales channel, right? If there's one thing, Amazon is for sales, website is for brand. That has to be relooked at, questioned again. Build your brand
Correct.
ethos, build your brand story on Amazon. I don't have specific comments on what you. I wish all the best on grow your business in every possible direction, and I would root for
Right.
that.
Right. Uh, Considering no more questions, Sticker, so I'm just going to
Yeah.
thank you for your time, and this was really amazing. and very, very insightful. And I think your presentation will serve as a playbook for a lot of people. And I look forward to kind of catching up again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to WebEngage team and Siddharth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.